What exactly is ADH? Picture this. You're in class and the teacher is droning on about something you couldn't care less about. Suddenly a squirrel darts past the window and your brain goes, "Ooh, shiny!" Before you know it, you've missed half the lecture and you're doodling in your notebook. Sound familiar? If so, you might be one of the millions of people worldwide with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADH for short. But what exactly is ADH? Simply put, it's a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects how your brain processes information and regulates attention, impulses, and activity levels. People with ADH often have difficulty focusing, organizing tasks, and controlling their behavior, which can lead to challenges in school, work, and relationships. I know what you might be thinking. Great, so I'm just lazy and easily distracted? Nope, not even close. ADH is a real medical condition caused by differences in brain structure and function. Studies have shown that people with ADH have reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for executive functions like planning, decision-making, and impulse control. But here's the thing. Having ADH doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It just means your brain works a little differently than the average person's. In fact, some of the world's most brilliant and creative minds have had ADH, including Einstein, Edison, and Leonardo da Vinci. How's that for good company? So the next time someone tries to tell you that ADH isn't real or that you're just making excuses, remember this. Your brain is unique, and your ADH is a part of what makes you, you. Embrace it, learn to work with it, and get ready to unleash your full potential. Because trust me, once you understand your ADH, there's no limit to what you can achieve. All right, so now you know what ADH is, but did you know there are different types? That's right, just like ice cream. ADH comes in a variety of flavors, and while they all share some common characteristics, each type has its own unique set of challenges and strengths. First up, we have the inattentive type, also known as ADD, Attention Deficit Disorder. If you have this type, you might find yourself constantly daydreaming, losing track of time, and struggling to follow through on tasks. You might be forgetful, easily distracted, and have trouble paying attention to details. But on the flip side, you might also be incredibly creative, imaginative, and able to think outside the box. Next, we have the hyperactive-impulsive type. If this is you, you might feel like you're always on the go, with a constant need to move and fidget. You might talk a mile a minute, interrupt others, and struggle with impulsive decisions. But you're also likely to be energetic, spontaneous, and able to think on your feet. Finally, there's the combined type, which is exactly what it sounds like, a combination of inattentive and hyperactive-impulsive symptoms. If you have this type, you might feel like you're constantly bouncing between two extremes with periods of intense focus followed by bursts of restless energy. And remember, no matter what flavor of ADH you have, you're not alone. There are plenty of successful people out there who have learned to embrace their ADH and use it to their advantage. Take Simone Biles, for example. This Olympic gold medalist has been open about her struggles with ADH, but she's also credited her ability to hyper-focus on gymnastics with helping her achieve her dreams. So whether you're the daydreamy type or the energizer bunny type, remember that your ADH is just one part of who you are. With the right tools and support, you can learn to harness your unique strengths and thrive in whatever you set your mind to. Okay, so that's the sciencey stuff, but what does it actually mean for you and your brain? Well, imagine your brain is like a busy highway with lots of cars, thoughts, and ideas zooming around. In a neurotypical brain, there are plenty of traffic cops, neurotransmitters, to keep everything flowing smoothly and make sure everyone follows the rules. But in an ADH brain, there aren't quite enough traffic cops to go around. So some of the cars start swerving around, jumping between lanes, distractions, and even driving on the wrong side of the road. Impulsive behavior. It's not that your brain is broken or defective. It's just that it's working with a different set of rules. Think of it like having a Ferrari engine in a go-kart. All that power and speed can be amazing when you're tearing up the racetrack, hyper-focusing on something you're passionate about. But it can also make it harder to navigate tight turns and sudden stops, transitioning between tasks or dealing with boring stuff. The good news is, once you understand how your unique brain works, you can start to develop strategies to work with it instead of against it. It's like learning to drive that go-kart like a pro. Sure, you might spin out a few times, but with practice and patience, you'll be able to harness all that horsepower and take on whatever obstacles come your way. And remember, having an ADH brain doesn't mean you're lazy, stupid, or crazy. It just means you have a different operating system. Plenty of brilliant, successful people have ADH, and they've learned to use their unique wiring to their advantage. So don't be too hard on yourself if things feel a little chaotic sometimes. With the right tools and mindset, you can learn to navigate your mental highway like a boss. All right, let's talk about something that might blow your mind a little bit. ADH isn't a simple you have it or you don't kind of deal. Nope. It's actually what we call a spectrum disorder. But don't worry, I'm not going to get all technical on you. Think of it like this. Imagine you're at a party. Stay with me here. I promise this analogy works. Some people are wallflowers, quietly sipping their drinks in the corner. Others are the life of the party, dancing on tables and belting out karaoke. And then there's everyone in between. The casual minglers, the enthusiastic conversationalists, and the occasional dance floor dabbler. ADH is kind of like that party. Some people might be on the more inattentive end of the spectrum, daydreaming their way through life. Others might be bouncing off the walls with energy and impulsivity. And then there's a whole range of folks in between, mixing and matching symptoms, like they're at some kind of neurological buffet. This spectrum idea is actually pretty cool because it helps explain why your ADH might look totally different from your friend's ADH, or why your symptoms might change depending on the situation. Maybe you're super focused when you're coding, but can't sit still during a boring meeting. Or perhaps you're great at brainstorming creative ideas, but struggle to follow through on the details. The spectrum concept also means that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to managing ADH. What works for one person might be a total flop for another. It's all about finding your own groove and figuring out what strategies work best for your unique brain wiring. And here's the really interesting part. Some researchers think that everyone falls somewhere on this spectrum. Yep, you heard that right. We all have some degree of these traits. It's just that people diagnosed with ADH have them to a more intense degree that impacts their daily life. So the next time someone tries to put you in a box or label you as ADH, like it's some kind of fixed identity, remember this. You're not just one thing. You're a complex, ever-changing individual with a unique set of strengths and challenges. Embrace the spectrum, my friend. It's what makes you, well, you.